Welcome back. It's Jason with your Hopium-free crypto channel. Today we got crypto news. We've got a ton of it. Galaxy Digital buying up BitGo. This is a big play for the institutional investors to be coming into the space. We have news on Dogecoin. Yes, we've seen it go up. We see all the headlines about $1 Doge, but what the hell does Doge actually do? And what is the potential afterwards? And where do I see the market going if the market sentiment flips for Dogecoin, which unfortunately it inevitably does. So be sure to watch this video right through so we can get to the deep, dark secrets of Dogecoin. I'm probably playing that up a little bit, but there is very strong reasoning to not get too hyped up on news that is coming up later on. All right, so first you need to like the video up. Hit that, helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe to the channel, bell notification icon so you can be updated with the time-sensitive content in this fast-running cryptocurrency bull market. The first thing I have here on the side, I think we need to update our cryptocurrency portfolio. This is on SwiftX, which you can find a link to in the description down below if you'd like to trade cryptocurrencies in Australia. Now, I'm just doing a simple buy and hold, not playing with it too much portfolio. Cardano, Chainlink, Polkadot, The Graph, and Solana. So I've noticed these things move at different times. That's why I have them in the portfolio. When some are going up, others are staying stagnant or going down. We can see Cardano, which is potentially about to break out. I've got a video on that on the channel. Go and definitely check that video out. Even if you're not interested in Cardano, it teaches you how to spot these trends before they break out. Everyone always wants to buy something once it's broken out, but this is how you spot them before they break out. So Cardano's moving, Chainlink moving, Polkadot accumulation, potentially in a consolidation period, the Graph consolidation, Solana maybe at a peak. So they're all at slightly different times, which helps balance the portfolio. So this is looking pretty reasonable, only up 50%, but we did get in at the peak in February. So that's kind of how the portfolio has sat. I'm hoping to at least get around a 4-5x on this thing. I think initially I was thinking maybe let's get this thing to 100K, but at the end of the day, we're pretty late into the bull market. We're about halfway. So if we can get about a 4, a 5, 6x on it, I'd be quite happy. So this is what we're going to hold for this time being. Now, 200-week moving average on Bitcoin. I haven't ever noticed that it has gone from this color, so where we are now in this range of between 10 and 12%, and broken down into the blues again, prior to hitting a peak of a top of a bull market. So that's just one little metric looking at how to read this chart here. We see the little greeny yellow heading up into the orange, then the red, and then again heads into the red, and then it heads into the blue. So it basically goes up, hits the red, comes back down. So just looking at an overall positioning of the market at the moment, even though Bitcoin is trading sideways, it's still looking pretty strong, and that is then spilling over into the altcoin. So there's been a lot of talk about an altcoin season, and we've seen that happen with obviously Dogecoin, Ethereum going up, Binance at new all-time highs, Cardano looking like it's about to break out into new all-time highs again in the dollar value, in its dollar pairing, Polkadot potentially setting up, Uniswap at new all-time highs, Chainlink all-time highs, Solana all-time highs. Now, Ethereum Classic, absolutely wild. We'll look at that in just a sec. Price range, new all-time highs in the dollar value. Let's move across to the greed and fear, the fear and greed index. This is obviously showing signs that the market is heating up. In this greed section again, the altcoins are greedy. Bitcoin is still in its trading range. I've talked about that in the video today, so go and check that video out as well. What we've seen historically, yesterday neutral, last week neutral, and we're just sort of ranging between that greed, that light fear and light greed. And I talked about this as what the market does when Bitcoin is just fluctuating between its price ranges. So that's what I see with this, and I don't suspect we will head into the extreme greed until Bitcoin really gets closer to that all-time high. And that figure, we want to see the first figure break is 60,500. Onto the news. Now, I have here the first piece. Dogecoin has remarkably strong fundamentals despite deficiencies, says Mike Novogratz, Galaxy Digital. I agree with this. There is no pre-mine or ICO. Dogecoin's fair launch positions it more closely to Bitcoin than most other projects in the space, ensuring that no hidden group of insiders stands to benefit disproportionately from its rise. That may not be entirely true, Mike, because you've got pretty big whales who would have mined a lot of Dogecoin in the early days. So although there was a fair launch, meaning that it wasn't sold to VCs or people who could buy in earlier with bigger bags or knew about it. It was all just put out on the market, mine it, go for gold. We know for sure, there are big wallet holders of Dogecoin. So I love these principles about Dogecoin. There's no pre-mine, no ICO, fair launch. That's a big reason, in my opinion, why it's done so well over these years. Plus, it's just, you don't take it seriously. And that those pieces, ingredients, blend for a fantastic recipe to get this thing to number 3. We're at number 4 at the moment. That's what we just saw. Dogecoin, number 4, absolutely wild. VC Guru says that Dogecoin has no real users, but Ethereum's fundamentals are quite strong. Okay, we know Ethereum is quite strong. Meme coin, this is for Dogecoin. So what I was talking about in the beginning, just be careful of these sorts of things, Dogecoin in particular, when we get to big news announcements. So Bogart added, it's a meme coin, it's functional, it's a functional network. I'll give it that credit, that it does work, but there's no real users. Sure, there's just people speculating on it. There's no development building on it. If you didn't know that, now you do. I've never taken an investment pitch of someone actually building on top of Doge. And the whole thing seems very much like GameStop, like the GameStop saga, which we saw a few months ago. So Elon Musk continues to pump it because Elon likes jokes, and what does it matter to him? Buy some Doge, don't buy some Doge. It doesn't really matter. It's not part of the SEC. They can't regulate this thing. So you can talk about this all you want, and if it pumps, it pumps. So at the end of the day, there are some good fundamentals to it, but the other side to it is there's no one building on it. There's no development. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really just a nice lottery ticket. And at the end of the day, even if the lottery doesn't turn out in your favor, you're still holding some Doge, and maybe you'll be in the lottery next time. So when you look at it like that, this is just a big lottery game across the world. That's the way I see Dogecoin. That's why it's fun. That's why I don't take it seriously. When I've made my money from it, I get out. Next piece is more on the Doge. And the Doge here in this article, investing stimulus checks in Dogecoin would have made you $425,000. Again, looking at this as being the big news that can really get you hyped up. Imagine if that could happen again. I know there are people thinking that. I know there are people thinking that if they put $1,400 into Dogecoin, they could get 425 grand out of it again. That is basically impossible in this cycle. I was going to say basically there is a possibility, but it is wild. Imagine the market cap that it would need to have to get to $425,000. There is your answer. It needs to go up 303 times. $425,000, you're putting in your 1,400, 303 times. Okay, the market cap here is 84 billion. I'll even round it down for you. 84 billion multiplied by 303. I don't even know, what is this number? $25.4 trillion. I think you're out of your mind if that's going to happen. Probably nowhere near close. If we do, you can think of something in the comments and I'll do that. But we're not getting to 25 trillion in this cycle for Dogecoin, 100%. So just be careful when you see those sort of articles where they're talking about these numbers and getting your hopes up that this can skyrocket. It might go from 60 or 70 cents to $1 or $1.50. It's 100%. A lot of downside risk. Stay safe out there. Galaxy Digital buys BitGo for $1.2 billion. What is Galaxy Digital? It's an asset merchant bank founded in 2018. The firm offers multiple services, including asset management, advisory services for businesses, trading, and principal investing in companies ranging from seed stage ventures to those in full operation. So it's doing a lot of advisory stuff, and you can, like an investment sort of bank there. Now, what is BitGo? What have they bought? Digital asset trust company, security company, headquartered in California. Basically, now you can have, the company offers multi-sig Bitcoin wallet service, so multi-signature, multi-sig Bitcoin wallet services, where keys are divided among a number of owners to manage risk. So now they've got their wallet option and their advisory option, and where people can have their cryptocurrency, put it there for custody over it for them. This is like a whole package for the institutional investor, and I assume that's what Mike Novogratz was going for all along. He was just waiting for the right time. Buys BitGo, 1.2 billion, adds it to Galaxy Digital. Away we go. Bigger and bigger network for the institutions to get in. eBay exploring crypto payments for 187 million buyers. That's essentially it. There's the headline. E-commerce titan eBay says it's open to adding crypto payments to its platform as the emerging asset class attracts more attention. I'll stop mixing up my words. Essentially, that's all that it had to say there. Now, Ethereum Classic is going nuts. Some of you guys have mentioned it. It's another Doge. Nothing is going on with this thing. Yes, there are developers. I know that. It's not exactly like Doge, but it's a legacy cryptocurrency, which is basically dead. It's a Charles Hoskin coin. If this doesn't show you something, then I don't know what will. Nothing is really going on with Ethereum Classic, and it stays in the top 20 from what I can see because it has very high trading volume. It's been around a long time, and if it has high trading volume, so we're looking here, volume, $22 billion trading volume, it makes it a really good, whatever, digital asset to be traded. It is one of the highest volumes, 22 billion. Nothing compares until I get to Litecoin. Even Litecoin's half of it. Bitcoin Cash is a bit more than half. Tether, of course. XRP doesn't even match it. Dogecoin is more because it's traded a lot at the moment. And of course, Ethereum Classic is being traded a lot, so that's why the volume's high. But even Binance, it trumps Binance by a long way. So it's one of the most highly traded cryptocurrencies. And that then basically helps it stay in the top 20. It keeps it relevant. That's pretty much the only thing. Plus, one other thing is that Ethereum's obviously broken into new all-time highs. And so when you get new people seeing Ethereum Classic, this one's was $30 and Ethereum's like $3,000. Which one are they going to buy? They don't know the difference. They don't think there's any difference. They go and buy the $30 because they think it's going to go to 3,000. Completely different projects. So that's probably the only two reasons I can see for Ethereum Classic doing anything. It's a highly traded cryptocurrency and people get confused with it, just like they get confused with Bitcoin Cash, which we also see in the article that Bitcoin Cash is also moving as well. So it's some of these old coins like Dogecoin that are moving. Dogecoin's for fun, but Bitcoin Cash really tried to take over Bitcoin. Didn't happen. Ethereum Classic tried to be the real Ethereum. I guess in some ways you could say it is because it was the original blockchain, but at the end of the day, ETH is the Ethereum now. Okay, so if anyone wants to get offended, comment section is for you guys. Retail hype is also building on ETH, especially as the token is available to buy on popular trading app Robinhood. There you go. Just keeps increasing the tradable potential, but you're not actually buying anything. Last thing, Polkadot parachain, full of promises, but lack of launch date raises concern. Is this turning into another Cardano? I think not. Competition, especially for early slots on Kusama and Polkadot, is expected to be fairly intense in my opinion. Because competitive auctions at the start are generally expected, I doubt projects will be severely disappointed, especially considering there is a new slot open every 2 weeks to bid on. So I think this is going to hold Polkadot over, especially that Kusama network where people can basically go on and test whatever it is they're doing now, get it all built up, ready to go for the parachain when the parachains come out. I suspect, I could put a big bet on there. I reckon Polkadot's probably going to get it sorted sooner than Cardano, if not, probably pretty close behind. And if that's the case, they only came out in 2020. Polkadot was formed, I believe, in 2020, if I remember correctly. Mainnet launched in 2020, and Cardano's a lot earlier than that. I'm not going to bring up any dates here, but essentially, Polkadot has done a hell of a lot in a short period of time, and I suspect they're going to continue doing that, and the development's going to continue running pretty strongly. So that's why I'm bullish on Polkadot. Now over to our ETH, our ratio gang, 37.79% of Bitcoin. So this is just basically of the market caps. Ethereum is really catching up to that market cap. I've seen a lot of videos, titles, news articles talking about Ethereum flipping Bitcoin. I've talked about it. I think eventually it will happen. I think once we get to that 50% point, that's going to make a lot of news as well. Then that allows the narrative to shift a lot easier. So I'm just playing with all of these market sentiment ideas that I have here, getting probably way too excited about it, but it's what I do. It's what I love. So that's why we're here. Okay, 6% of Bitcoin's value that we've climbed. We were at 3% just a few weeks ago. Now we're at 6.1% of BTC's value, and our halfway point is at 8%, 0.08. Should we get there halfway to Bitcoin's dollar value? We are strong. We are very strong in the ETH space. Okay, property. Now, this is worldwide. I know this says Melbourne, but it's actually Sydney. Worldwide, property is going crazy. You guys have hopefully made some gains from your Dogecoins, from your Ethereums, from your ETH Classics, from your Bitcoin, whatever altcoin you're trading out there, hopefully you've made some big gains. What are you going to do with it? Some people are interested in buying themselves a property. Some want to get into the stock market, which you can get exposure to. You can get property exposure in the property market. I've got an article here on that as well. Property is going crazy. 2020 was another bottom in the market, probably around 2019, 2020 for Australia, and it's slightly different all around the world, but we're on a major trend into 2026. Pay attention to this, because as crypto starts to flip over and the narrative shifts from it, things are going to go back into stocks and into property. And you're going to wonder, why the frig did you miss out again? It's because you're not forerunning the market. Some of you are, and you're understanding it and you're getting in with it. But if you're not paying attention to all the sectors of the investment space, then you're going to get left behind, then you won't keep up with what's going on, and then you'll find yourself back in that position of, all right, where am I again? Why did I buy Bitcoin at 60,000 when it was 6,000 just a year ago? Okay, property is going into that place. There is a ton of naysayers. Australia, US, all of the big names, all of the small names, all scaring the market. Property is going up into that period based on many cycles, which I've gone through in detail on the channel, and I've got interviews with that. But I'll leave it as just pay attention to some of the news. The prices are going up. The credit is becoming easier. It is going to become easier in Australia. We've got the interest rates obviously low. Even if they jump up a slight fraction of a percent, it's not going to affect us that much. It's only when we get to that 2, 3, 4% that we've jumped from that initial point that could really affect us. But at the moment, this is going pretty well, and those stages will probably come in a couple of years' time. So we've got to pay attention to that. Follow Property Share Market Economics. This is the guys that I talk with on the channel often about the property market and the overall economics. This is the article in detail. Property prices going up. I definitely know they're going up here. Rents are going up here. Now, if you want to get exposure to the property market in cryptocurrency, this is one way to do it. REITs. Now, the article talks about REITs getting repriced. Currently sitting at around maybe a 4 or 6% return dividend yield. And as they get bought up more, that yield will begin to drop to about 2 to 3% because people are just looking for anywhere to make a return on their money. And 4 to 6% will probably sound pretty good compared to your 0.1% you're getting in the bank or 0.01%. So people will start to pile more money into these, and then that drops the dividend yield. But it also increases the price of the REIT that you've bought. So your 4 to 6% will possibly stay around that, maybe increase because of the low cost base that you're buying at as the REITs increase in value. So this is just a starting point. I'm going to talk about this a lot more on the channel because I definitely see the property game, the land in particular, increasing in a ton of value over the next sort of 4 or 5 years. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon. This is a finance channel, not just cryptocurrency, although I do a lot of cryptocurrency. Like the video up if you enjoyed it. Yes, I am getting to the end. You've got all the links down below that I talked about in this video. SwiftDex, your Binances, Blockfolios, all down below. So check those out if you want to get started in cryptocurrency. Plus, go and look at the playlist on my channel to give you a bit of a guide of how to get there. Thank you very, very much. I'll see you on Instagram and on Twitter for daily Q&As, portfolio updates, and crypto news on Twitter. But until then, have more fun to get more done.